all accreditors currently have defined that all interests need to be disclosed. There is a practical problem in that, because many people have such a long list of interests that there have always been attempts to reduce the declarations. And one of let's say, reduce the scope of the declarations. And one of the most futile approaches has been to say, okay, I as an accreditor, I don't know what is relevant, please do it yourself. Every psychologist tells you that conflicts of interest are subconscious. So it makes definitely no sense to ask the person who should declare, please do it on yourself. Yeah. But you have to ask certain questions which need to be answered. There is a published approach on that, which is also in a certain way demonstrating a consensus. This proposal comes out of the Cologne Consensus Conference, a conference in which accreditors have met since 2012, currently jointly organized by the European Cardiology Section Foundation, the American Accreditation Council for CME, ACCME, and the Canadian Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons, and in the future also by International Academy. And we have had one conference on conflict of interest, and the post-Congress paper gives a proposal which questions should be answered, should be asked and should be answered by all speakers, by all presenters, by all people involved in program planning, and by that offers a unifying approach in the hope that at least as a first step you can find a one-size-fits-all approach. Yeah? And the second thing I think is, everybody is talking about financial conflicts of interest. It's absolutely equally important to declare non-financial interests. So the approach means you have to declare it, you have to disclose it in a structured way that the participants know what has been asked and what are the answers, and this relates to financial as well as non-financial conflicts of interest. And I guess that this will probably become one of the internationally or globally accepted standards. The next Cologne Consensus Conference next year will be on standards in accredited CME in order to define the bottom line necessary for substantial equivalency, as mentioned earlier. Yeah, it's another example, let's say, of how long it takes that proposals are considered, are implemented. This is by far not the current standard regarding the practice of disclosure, because the approach I have just mentioned means asking the people who have to declare, please decide what you want to declare, is the most convenient approach. Yeah? And to leave something like that is always a little bit troublesome, so people try to avoid it. Yeah? But let's say we are persistent in that case, and one day it will have been implemented. It's my impression that the participants for the first time had the impression that there is something going on in the group of accreditors which might really lead to harmonization. Probably not to harmonization of application forms or something like that, yeah, but that you can be sure that a program designed according to certain standards will be accepted in those countries or by those organizations who have considered themselves as being substantially equivalent. And that would be great progress, and that would be very much appreciated by the provider community, because for them it's often not easy to manage all these bureaucratic paperwork. I'm not sure whether this will be reduced, but it's not easy to meet different requirements set by different accreditation systems.